A very good day, my dear postgraduate students. This class is of paramount importance and markedly different from the others. In fact, I would not call this a class. Having crossed the 1000th presentation, in fact, it is substantially even more. I feel that something was drastically missing. So, what exactly is the message that I wish to convey to my dear postgraduate students and even the younger faculty? The class is PGs at the crossroads. I hope the symbol envisages the theme of the topic. And this incidentally ACME's advanced course in medical education, which I would like to incorporate in this class. What do you people see on the screen? Can you identify this? There is a beautiful box, a golden box in fact, which the girl had been advised not to open. But then she was so very inquisitive as to what was within it, and thanks to the increase in gold prices, went on to open it. That happens to be the Pandora's box of misery. And today, you all know to what extent the world is suffering. Suffering is not different from pathology. In fact, misery is suffering, and suffering means pathos. Pathos is the study of disease or suffering. Well, I am not going to delve into the intricacies of pathology as such, but restrict myself to the postgraduates. This is what I am exactly seeing in my postgraduate students. Not only in my department, but cutting across departments, cutting across institutes, and in all places. There is a marked sense of diffidence, despondence, despair, doom, dejection, and desolation. Try finding the meaning of these words if it is worth it. But this is the general sense that is looming large amidst us. And it is also path at present. With this kind of an air that is prevailing, it is very difficult to create an inroad into the minds of the student. In fact, one of my teachers used to say, there is a sense of an impasse. Nothing seems to be occurring. As a very senior administrator. Look at this one. This is supposed to be the young pathologist or the postgraduate. And his role is not just one. It is a multifactorial or multifactional. We have joined here for the sake of academics, to study, to get the degree and pass. But in the meantime, you have got an element called the patient, for whom you will have to make the diagnosis. And also you would have learned a bit of an administration in the meantime, in various forms. I am not going into the intricacies of it. Also, you develop a personality of diplomacy between you people, between you and the faculty, between the departments, so on and so forth. And the subject itself. Not only academics, you find that there is the other things that you people will have to learn for your pathology. It remains to be interdisciplinary. In fact, one subject which touches almost every other subject in the medical curriculum is pathology. And we should be also developing the various skills. This is exactly the role of the pathologist. And there is also a great deal of teaching that you will have to learn and impart. So, my dear student, please do understand your role. It is not solitary, it is multifactorial. Perhaps it would appear that the postgraduates are in a state of, say, asleep, but sleep is a kind of a silence that nourishes the wisdom. Francis Bacon. So you find that knowingly or unknowingly, they are assimilating and accumulating a lot of these informations and knowledge which are going to transform their personalities. And that is a student in the making of tomorrow's pathologist or any of the role which I had projected earlier. Now again, coming to the postgraduates or for that matter even the younger faculty. This is a thematic picture of a pressure. So obviously we are under some kind of a pressure. Can we define it? Okay. The subject itself, it is vast, it is huge, it evaporates. I am not able to cover it. That is one. Secondly, there is something called a peer pressure. I always compare myself with the performance of my colleagues, seniors and juniors. Also, you find that the economics, it plays a vital role in my career. It varies from student to student. Those with a background, those without that, those which has got a foreign contact, and those which are totally locally novice. The family pressure, obviously these cannot be defined, but if you go into the intricacies of it, every student will be having to bear something from all of these. And adding fuel to the fire will be the media, the various kinds of publications, the presentations, and so on and so forth. So it is a pressure from all sides. I will have to change myself accordingly. I do not include certain other things as personally trying to please individuals. So that is in fact a terrible thing which I do not encourage at all. So these are the forms of pressure that we are under. Now this is one. What we as students or younger faculty fail to realize is this. There are two elements called knowledge and wisdom. Is it clear? Thanks to Alame for this beautiful picture which I have been repeatedly projecting. Knowledge and wisdom. So what is the difference between these two? There is one element called knowledge and another called wisdom. Any idea what the difference between them is? Knowledge is proud that he has learned so much. Wisdom is humble that he knows no more. In fact, I very openly tell my students, in spite of my repeated reading and presentations, my knowledge is limited. In fact, it is only about 20%. That is why I appear more wise. So, knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge feels how much he knows. Wisdom feels how much he does not know. And what are your comments on this picture? A beautiful theme, just I thought. It can be a father and a son, or even a teacher and a student. You find that there are decades of differences between them. It can vary in frequency, in age, in efficiency, in the earning capacity, so on and so forth, never ending. In the techniques. And gradually it is what I put my shoes on, whose legs I would like to follow. And look at this picture over here. Anything should have some solution. And this is what is called the fairy hope. And she gives Pandora this glistening object. And whatever Pandora is supposed to touch with this turns into a solution, and a source of happiness. And my dear students, please do understand, there are positive things in you. Age, for example. Do not compare yourself with the entirety of pathology. So that you will be learning with experience and knowledge comes thereon. In fact, you start learning after you pass your MD. Future, there will be an immense support. You will be creating, you will be giving, and you will be growing. And there is a scope. Who knows in what specialty or super specialty or subspecialty you will be landing yourself and the potential that you have got. It is amazing that the students are good, not only in the subject or in the diagnostics or in the way of communication, but also in organizing many another things which are considered to be extracurricular, but to my knowledge, they are para or part of curriculum itself. So, my dear students, this is the fairy hope and this is the future you people have got. All the best.